Seen what I've seen in pre-season. Let's see it under the lights Friday night. What a time. The whole world's going to be watching this one.
Alexander Isak, adamant, he will not play for Newcastle again.
There's so many things that can happen. So while the iron's hot, you got to strike.
Does this deal just simply depend now on whether Newcastle can get somebody else in? Do you believe that, by the way? Or do you actually believe the window closes, he's going to just not play football for 6 months?
It's like, it's like having an argument with your wife and going for a sleepover at your ex-bird's house.
Yeah,
I think it gets done, but it's really messy now. Desperate for another centre-back. Sure. Desperate for another striker. I love Wataru Endo. Right, I love him, but he's not a centre-back. I'm not sitting here scared about the test on Friday. I think Liverpool will get through that. But yeah, still definitely a couple of holes to plug there.
You take 2 players out of the team of the year, you're going to feel it. It's going to be a real fight to the end. Arsenal are looking strong. Man City are going to look strong. And Chelsea, they beat PSG, which no team has seemed to have done yet. So it's going to be tough.
Hello and welcome to Inside Liverpool. We're on TalkSport's YouTube channel and also on your smart TVs. We are just 3 days away from the start of the new Premier League season, and the Premier League champions Liverpool kick off the new Premier League season Friday night with that game home to Bournemouth, which you can listen to live on TalkSport. So over the next 45 minutes or so, we're looking ahead to the start of the new season, discussing all the latest transfer news. There's been another pretty big development with regards to Alexander Isak, and we'll, of course, as well take a look back at the Community Shield game on Sunday. I'm your host, Sam Ellard. Alongside me is a former Liverpool winger, a man that played in the Champions League final in 2007. And also, should I call you a new podcast sensation? I mean, we're here.
It's early days.
We're here, aren't we? And we're having a little bit of small talk, getting ready for the show on TalkSport's YouTube channel. Yeah. And you're recording promotional videos for another podcast, Jermaine.
I thought it's the perfect settings. Look around me. I'm in the Liverpool area here, so I thought it'd be perfect.
Yeah. Okay. Jermaine Pennant and also COP TV's Alex Gildea-Trott as well. Alex, good to have you back on the show, my friend.
Good to be back, gents. Looking forward to this one. 3 days away.
I know.
We'll have a look, won't we?
Of course.
We will.
Don't ask Stephen Manningham, though,
yeah, he wasn't a fan
to do
when
that
I asked
for you,
him
no.
to say that. But
just before we do get into the game on Sunday, transfers and the new Premier League season, you've been very busy, Alex, haven't you? Because you've been away on pre-season tour with Liverpool. Just briefly give us a little bit of an insight into what that was like.
Yeah, the tour, I was in Hong Kong. Amazing to be that close and personal with the players, see what kind of formations he's going to try and employ throughout the season. It was interesting in the AC Milan game, Frimpong started as a right winger, or in the second half at least, he was a right winger. And I think when Salah goes to the AFCON,
sure, we
could be seeing Frimpong in that position. It was great to see Ben Doak get minutes as well. I think he's a really talented player. Obviously, Ekitike literally walked out in the training session that I was at, so that was a big buzz. Managed to speak to Arna and Virgil as well. So yeah, amazing experience, and the Hong Kong locals, they absolutely love Liverpool.
Yeah,
I think there's 2 million fans out there. And Asia in general actually is Liverpool mad at the minute. So yeah, amazing to be there, but happy they got back in one piece, and it all starts on Friday.
And do you get good insight to the players, and do you get the impression of the players? So I was doing something with Flex last week, who obviously hosts Inside Devils and TalkSport's YouTube channel, and he was on United's pre-season tour, and he said he found it quite surreal that he'd go and speak to Bruno Fernandes, his captain, and Bruno Fernandes would recognise Flex from seeing his content on social media.
Well, I spoke to Virgil. I actually said, Jesus Christ, you're a beautiful fella.
Does he smell nice?
When you're up close and bro, he smells unbelievable.
Yeah, I bet he smells nice.
He towers over me. I'm 6'3", and I'm looking up at him like that. His teeth are unreal. He's got a face carved like a god.
One thing that I've always wanted to know about Virgil, I want to see his hair not up in the bun.
I'd love to, but
what does it look like when he gets out the shower?
I
need to know.
But it's like the Aquaman. You know when he just flicks it like that.
James Bond coming out the beach.
yeah. And he's got the aura. I mean, he's got aura. That's the thing. As a human being.
And I spoke to him on Sunday after the game, and he went, "I'm ready for you, man." So I obviously made some kind of impression on him. So, but I'd love to see that hair. He's got about 5 trims going on in one. He's got the waves. He's got the shape up. He's a
talented man.
He's just an unbelievable.
All the things we've got to talk about. We're now talking about Virgil van Dijk's trim. This is the insight you get on Inside Liverpool,
I don't
right?
get this anywhere else.
Yeah. Jermaine, as a football player, when you were getting ready for the start of the season, what would the few days be like building up to a game? Would you almost as a player be, when you're in training, nervous about going into challenges because you sort of know you've got the start of the new season just around the corner?
The sessions will be, thought about. Look, we've got a big game, start of the season, take it easy, and that would be coming from the manager. Everything would be based upon the Friday's game. But then it's not nerves, it's more excitement, because you've just had 5 to 6 weeks of hell. Pre-season training.
Is it hell?
For football, we hate it. It's hell. So we have 5 or 6 weeks of that, and you actually count down the days like, I cannot wait for this season to start. And there'll be excitement now of, right, 3 days, 2 days, oh my God, we've got a match tomorrow, get ready. And even though they played the Community Shield, their thought is still Friday.
Yeah.
This is, look, we didn't win, and people are going to say, oh, because you didn't win it. It's like a pre-season still. It's still classed.
Glorified pre-season.
It's still classed as like a, pre-season. Let's get those little cobwebs out of the system, ready for Friday, get into proper competitive, moments and gameplay. So, yeah, these boys and guys will be looking.
And you're booking that fresh trim, aren't you, for the first game?
Oh, yeah.
You're making sure.
It's because we all know it's on TV as well, so everyone's making you'll see, not one person will have a shady trim. It'll be sharp.
They're all tanned up as well because they've been on holiday as well.
Yeah. He hasn't had a haircut in 5 days, by the way. That's why he's got a hat on. 5 days he's wearing a cap. That's absolutely outrageous.
You're sweet though, man.
I know, 5
5
days.
days.
You let it marinate for a bit.
Tomorrow.
Well, Well's gone mad, hasn't he? He'll make sure he's got his fresh new trim
Game's
for his
gone.
new podcast that he's doing on
Game's
Friday,
gone.
right? Alex, you were at the game then on Sunday. 2-2. We lost on penalties. What takeaways? Did you leave with Wembley thinking, yep, I like that, and maybe no, I didn't like that?
I really liked the Wirtz and Ekitike link up that we saw, come to fruition in the first 5 minutes. I mean, the ball into if you watch it back, the ball into Ekitike, I don't think it was actually meant for him. It was really, had some wrap round it, and he touches it, takes it round the defender, and very Isac kind of finished that as well. So there were some positives. Obviously, Kirkes, I think he looks really good at left back. He's almost, taken on the role so quickly in terms of like getting stuck into tackles, bombing up and down the left wing. Frimpong scored a cross. But it looked really good, nonetheless.
They all count.
Yeah, they all count. I'm sure he'll say it was a shot. But on the other side of things, desperate for another centre-back. Sure. Desperate for another striker. I know we sound very ungrateful. How are we desperate when we've just signed all these players? But Ekitike and Liverpool in general in the first half were scarily good. The little triangles, the link-ups were brilliant. The second half comes around. A little bit of complacency / tiredness / not match fitness slips in. You take off Ekitike, you take off a couple other players, and you're bringing on Endo and McAllister, not really attacking players, and it brings the game back into Palace's favour. Their fans get up and they win the game. But I think, crying out for another centre-back. In that squad, there was only 2 recognised centre-backs. I love Wataru Endo. Right, I love him, but he's not a centre-back. I know he can play there, but surely we're going to get another one of them in. And then when Ekitike comes off, you're looking at the bench going, in terms of an out-and-out number 9 striker, there isn't one. So in the first half, everyone's saying, oh, you don't need Isac, look how good Ekitike is, but he comes off and you think we need someone like an Isac or someone like a Mark Guéhi as well to come on and shore things up. So definitely positives to take. The goals were great goals, but I mean, it kind of just highlighted once again Liverpool's shortcomings in this window in terms of going and getting Alexander Isak and getting another centre-back, which I'm pretty confident will still happen with 2.5 weeks left in the window. So positives to take, but I'm not sitting here scared about the test on Friday. I think Liverpool will get through that. But yeah, still definitely a couple of holes to plug there for sure.
Yeah, and I thought, Jermaine, one takeaway from the game was that we did look quite open, didn't we? But then there's no Gravenberch, there was no McAllister, and I guess with Gravenberch in that 6, I feel like we'd looked a lot more solid, a lot more secure. So again, it almost like feels like maybe that assessment isn't fair, because I know we can't play on Friday night, but the rest of the season, with him in that 6, we look complete. The whole balance of the team is different.
Absolutely. If you take out, you look at McAllister, you look at Gravenberch, they was probably in the team of the year last season.
Yeah.
So you take 2 players out of the team of the year, you're going to feel it in some way, shape or form. We know what McAllister's like. He's tidy. He does some of the dirty work as well in there. Keeps it simple. He gets us ticking. And Gravenberch is the guy that moves us from defence to transition by the way he can turn on the ball and create things. And missing that, you're going to feel it, and we did. We played Curtis Jones. Can't really do a 6 job. He's more attacking minded.
More of an 8 or 10.
Yeah. So is Dom. And went over is a 10. So we was short there. So when Gravenberch does come back, we will look a lot more sturdy, a lot more steady. So I wasn't worried. This was a test. This was time to try things out for when you don't have Gravenberch. Because we might not have Gravenberch for a long period of the season. He could get injured. So this was a good test to say, all right, we actually need a bit of cover here now in this situation.
Are either of you too surprised when Gravenberch isn't available that he doesn't just put Endo in as like for like as a 6? Or do you not think Endo's good enough to start?
Look, I think he's good enough to start because we've seen him start under Klopp. But it's all, does the manager feel that he does the job that he would need and his style of number 6 to play as? You see, Endo, he's not the guy who can... He's not really great at receiving the ball back to goal.
But technically the best.
Yeah.
Like
he's more of a side-to-side kind of guy. And Slot obviously likes to play through from defence to midfield to start attacks.
In terms of, again, it's only one game, but in terms of the style, Alex, did you notice anything different from last season? And do you think, in terms of tactically how we play football, there will be any shift with the new additions, or do you still think it'll be pretty much the same?
It's interesting. In the second half, he employed a 4-2-2-2, and I didn't think it worked. You had Szoboszlai and Jones in the second half, almost as like the double pivot, and they were losing the ball so many times. And I think the thing about McAllister and Gravenberch, they just don't lose the football. And with those two in the middle, you could see that Palace really focused on going through the middle. Obviously, their second goal came through that with Sarr.
Sure.
And then you had them two. Then Wirtz was playing with a second 10, and then Gakpo and Salah almost inverted forwards. So everything was kind of through the middle, but you obviously still had Kerkez and Frimpong doing their thing on the sides. So there was a bit of a difference actually from last season. And I think going forward this season, unless he has his preferred 3 in that midfield, we might see games like what we saw against Palace, where it's disrupted, the personnel are a bit different, but that's what he's going to have to do. Listen, Liverpool, in a way, were quite lucky last season. Touch wood, they will be again this season, but in terms of the injuries,
yeah, sure.
For 85% of games last season, it was McAllister, Szoboszlai and Gravenberch. Now, Szoboszlai might be the full guy in terms of Wirtz coming in. He has to play, right? I mean, he's not coming in to sit on the bench. He has to start every single game. He can play on the left.
Expensive bench player, isn't it?
Yeah. No, but someone's got to go.
Bench.
Someone's got to go, right? So it'll be interesting this season to see Slot deal with the new kind of style of players that are coming in, right? He's going to have to almost adapt a little bit. But going for as many competitions as Liverpool will be going for this season you're going to have 2 world-class players in every single position. Yeah. So
but
it's going to have to work.
I also think something we're going to see a lot more this season that we didn't see last season is, and we touched on this before on the show, it almost felt like last season he only trusted kind of 13, 14 players, really. Whereas I think this season he's clearly building a much bigger squad of 18, 20 players. And I just think when the Champions League comes in and we play 3 games a week, we're going to see a lot more natural rotation. 3-4 changes almost every game. Like Pep would always, in the Man City teams that were winning Premier Leagues, would make 5-6 changes every game, and no one was being dropped. It wasn't like a big thing. It was just constant rotation to keep everyone fit. And I wonder, Jermaine, whether this season, once the Champions League comes back in, Slot will properly start to use his squad maybe a little bit more. So maybe one game, Wirtz has to sit out. The next game, Ekitike has to sit out. And maybe a bit more long-term, as you get to the business end of the season, maybe not as many players will be as tired.
Well, I think that's every manager's dream, is having a squad like that where you can rest key players throughout the season, because when you're the top 4 and you're playing on all fronts, you've got 4 competitions to play for: Carabao Cup, FA Cup, Champions League, the Premier League, and you're fine to win them all, then you need depth. You need a strong squad, a big squad, because we found out for how many seasons now is that when we are on all fronts, we start lacking in the latter stages. We do look tired. The FA Cup against Carabao Cup against Newcastle.
And the PSG game.
We looked a little bit tired. PSG, we looked a little bit tired. That's because we kept our same small core of starting players playing week in, week out, that he didn't really trust in other players, giving them game time. So I think his squad, big depth, is only going to help. And I like to see a little bit of rotation. Games we think we're comfortable and we are going to win, maybe rest Salah. Maybe, I know he don't want to, because he wants that golden boot every year. But sometimes if you want to be successful and keep your players fit and fighting on all fronts, you have to have a good squad depth.
Yeah, 100%. Alex, what did you make of, we've been so used to having, we were so lucky in the last 7-8 years, Trent and Robbo, I mean, being arguably the 2 best fullbacks in the league. In terms of Frimpong, Kerkez, and I know we're having this conversation based off one game, but you were also at pre-seasons. What differences, if any, are we expecting to see from Frimpong, Kerkez compared to what we've been used to for many years?
I mean, Trent's main strength was his passing, wasn't it? He's got his back to the line. He knows no one's there. He's got time to look up, thread that kind of whipped ball through the channel for Mo Salah, or he can look at, Bobby Firmino used to drop off, and, that big switch over to Luis Diaz was on so many times. Frimpong's clearly very different. I don't think in his locker he possesses that 60-yard diag that Trent was so good at.
Nobody can play that ball like Trent, can they?
No.
And some of the best midfielders can't do that.
And Trent could, in a moment of distress, he picks the ball up, looks around and gets an assist and wins you the game in the last minute.
Well, sometimes he wouldn't even look, would he? He'd have his back
he'd know
back
where
to the
it
goal
is,
and would just turn and ping. It's ridiculous.
I mean, Frimpong did get a nice assist against the Yokohama Mariners to the back stick. Trey scored a nice finish. So he can whip it almost from, 25 yards, just from outside the box. So he's quicker than Trent. He gets to the byline and cuts back. He can recover so well. That's the main thing I really like about Frimpong. If he loses the ball, someone loses the ball, and you're the winger for the other team, mate, you've got no time because Frimpong is on your case. And I think Trent, we didn't really see that. I remember United at Anfield last season when Martinez scores that goal. I mean, Trent was at fault for not tracking back and not trying, really.
He was walking that game,
it was
wasn't
walking. It was probably
really
his worst game for Liverpool that I've seen.
And that comes just on the back of some more contract speculation.
So Frimpong isn't Trent, but he offers you something different, right? He can get to the byline, cut it back. And Kerkez, he almost looks to me as like a Robertson from 2017 in terms of energetic, can get up and down. But he's also a bit of a tank as well. I didn't realise. Well built, short, stocky, but loves a slide tackle.
Yeah.
Loves maybe a bit too much because sometimes it will, fall on his face a little bit if he takes someone out. But he does love getting stuck into a tackle and gets up and down. He can cross. So some differences, but just a different version of Liverpool fullbacks.
Just out of interest, mate, you played pretty much all your career right wing. When you're a right winger, if you had a preference, did you want your right back to always be on the overlap, or did that annoy you because he's ultimately taking up your space?
I don't think that as a fullback, and you've got a winger who likes to dribble like Salah and get back, you know when not to overlap. If you constantly do it, you're dragging another man in there, and then you're making it difficult for me or for Salah. So there'll be times and places when you see the opportunity to overlap because he's either coming inside, giving you that signal. If I start drifting in, there's that big space there now. Mm-hmm. Now the opposite winger has got a decision to make. Does he want to chase back? Because I hated chasing Ashley Coles and those left backs when
Did you do it?
Well, I had no choice. I had the manager screaming at me. But if it was up to me, I'd be like, okay, do you know when you're pretending to run beats like this?
One of those fake jogs.
So, he will know he's a good player, so he will know when it's time to overlap. And obviously, they're gonna generate a good relationship, Salah and Frimpong.
When Jermaine was at Liverpool as well, the right backs were Arbeloa and Deggan.
Steve Finnan.
I mean,
who was the second one you said? Arbeloa and who?
Deggan in your last season.
That is a throwback, isn't it?
It was more Steve Finnan.
But they weren't really. He wasn't necessarily an overlap. I mean, Rafa liked you high and wide, didn't he? Touchline almost.
Yeah.
Whipping balls in for Crouchy or whoever it was at the time. So yeah, I can see why. But he still wanted you to do the legwork, didn't he?
Oh yeah, every manager wanted me to do the legwork.
We're also contractually obliged on this show, Alex. In Jermaine's contract, apparently, I don't know, but we have to mention his goal against Chelsea. I have no problems with that, by the way. Can you please, for the fifth time on Inside
Liverpool, on the chest, lets it bounce, hits it on the perfect time, and Czech's got no chance.
Tried to cross it for Crouchy, puts the top thing.
Don't say that. Kaut scored that game as well, didn't he?
Yeah,
I remember. Yeah. That was. Perfection,
finish
Jermaine.
from two really good. Didn't Risa hit the bar from about 50 yards?
Yeah, he hit the bar as well.
Yeah.
I remember that game.
Great times.
It was one of the first times we'd beaten Chelsea in the league in a while.
That was the great Chelsea team. That was kind of around the time when Mourinho was in and winning leagues, weren't they?
Yeah. Some strikes from this fella, though.
Take a bow, right?
Whoa.
Take a bow.
Take a bow. Any other takeaways from the game, Alex? Anything stand out?
Yeah, I mean, from what we've already spoken about, nothing more than that. I would say I just can't. I mean, I did ask Virgil in the mix.
Here we go. This is going to be all season now, isn't it? Oh, yeah. I asked my mate Virgil after shave.
Got the ear cream as well.
How he get? You're trying to get the Virgil top knot, aren't you? And you've got a way to go, mate.
There's no way I can get to that level. But I did say, is this team close to what we're going to see on Friday? Obviously, a couple of changes. And he said, look, I'm not the manager, but people are coming back from injury. We've got a suspension, so it'll be as close to... Because when you look at the optics of it on that team on Sunday, apart from McAllister and Gravenberch won't be playing.
Spain, yeah.
But apart from McAllister, it's actually the team that will be playing on Friday, isn't it? So, Frimpong did limp out the mix zone. And we said, like, are you all right? And he kind of give us one.
Oh, really?
Adam Morton, studs.
It was a hard tackle, yeah.
How is that not even a card, by the way?
Yeah.
So hopefully, touchwood,
he's
fit.
Yeah.
But yeah, apart from that, just excited, mate. Just seen what I've seen in pre-season. Let's see it under the lights Friday night. What a time. The whole world's going to be watching this one. I want to see a good game.
And just final one on the game. You should also mention, of course, an emotional afternoon as well.
Yeah.
I know we've obviously had pre-season games. We did have a friendly against Preston. That was the first game properly back. But obviously the passing of Diogo Jota, I know I was watching on TV. There were loads of flags, banners. A song was being sung. An emotional afternoon. And as we know, it's going to be an emotional season.
Yeah. Obviously, there was a bit of interruption during the minute silence, and I was actually in the Crystal Palace end in like the Club Wembley bit. And to be fair to Palace fans, for as many, we'll call them idiots, people that were trying to disrupt the moment of silence, there was just as many going, shut up, make sure you don't speak and all that. But then the referees these days are told in a minute of silence, if you hear any shouting or just blow the whistle.
Sure.
And it was 15 seconds.
Yeah.
So I didn't like that at all. I thought that was really poor. And actually, Palace fans are some of the best fans. I really loved them.
As you said, you think it, well, we hope, not hope it, was a real small minority.
People coming out
and the noise maybe
concourse.
creates from the people trying to almost tell them to shut up.
It was a long day. People have been drinking. They're coming out onto the concourse
no excuses,
just
Alex.
before the game. Of course there isn't. But maybe they weren't aware that, it's a minute silence, sorry, we'll stay quiet. But I did hear a lot of people saying, shut up.
Sure.
And show a bit of respect. So, listen, it's going to be an emotional one on Friday because it's the first proper game at Anfield, competitive one. So, Bournemouth fans, I'm sure, will observe it.
And the anything we know about Liverpool fans is that they're going to put on
we'll put a show on,
an incredible evening in terms of songs, banners, flags, and I'm sure everybody associated with the football club, whether they're there or watching at home, will pay tribute to the great Diogo Jota. Some news this morning. We're recording this on a Tuesday morning, and at 7:47 a.m. I was that excited. Well, not excited by this, but it was that much for development. I got producer Anna to print this off for me. I mean, how old school am I? I could have just got it on my phone. But
I'm digital now, mate.
I know. I'm on my phone, mate.
Digital,
I thought we could have an iPad here, maybe, because that's what the cool kids are doing these days. David Ornstein this morning. Alexander Isak, adamant he will not play for Newcastle again, even if window closes, without exit. The 25-year-old views his Newcastle career over and there is no wish to reintegrate. Clubs say not for sale, but exploring the market amid Liverpool interest, and striker wants Liverpool. What are your thoughts on that, Jermaine?
I understand the frustration. I understand, especially like when I knew Liverpool was interested in signing me and I was at Birmingham at the time. I wanted my agents to do anything and everything they can to make this deal happen. Pre-season was ticking over, day in, day I was going...
Can I interrupt you immediately there? Just sorry. When you say to make that happen, right, what they need to happen is the club to match the fee. Because you hear lots of this stuff of that. And then fine, I get that you can not go training, you can want to move. But the only thing that's going to actually make it happen is if a fee is accepted, right? So
yeah,
what do you want your agent to do?
So, it's changed now. Things have... The way, transfers are...
You mean like tapping up is more of a thing?
Things have changed. Like I've got, old time. But what I would say, my agent would probably be speaking to both clubs. He will be going like, look, what you want to pay? What do you lot want? And he will be like the intermediary man. Yeah. So he'll say, look, you can probably get a deal if you offer this or that, and it will make it happen. So I would say, look, do everything you can to make it happen. I'll be frustrated. I've been training each day, I go, what's the news? Every day, what's the news? Any news? Every day I'll be on him, every news, until the point where I said, right, I got upset because I wanted to join Liverpool. So I said, right, I'm not talking to you anymore. This
to his agent?
To my agent. I said, I don't want to talk to you.
Sky Andrews?
Yeah.
Right.
So I said, I'm not talking to you until you make this deal happen. And it was like, I'm probably about 3-4 weeks I didn't speak. Wow. And then until I actually got the call when I was on the training pitch at Birmingham, one of the staff members came out and said, you need to go and speak to your agent. So I spoke to him and then that's what happened. So I understand his frustration and he wants to leave. But
is this acceptable though?
If he's spoke to the club previously and says, right, gentle agreement, if a big club comes in, a big offer, please let me go. And they goes, yeah, we won't stand in your way. Now they have gone on that word. So it's like, he feels like he's being kidnapped. You know, he's held hostage. I'm not letting you go. A massive fees came in, and they will get world record, British record fee for him if they open the doors and give the green light. This chance of him joining Liverpool may not come again. It's all good, okay, next season you can go. But what if he gets a terrible injury?
Sure.
An ACL? It can happen. What if all of a sudden his form kind of dips and they're like, oh, was it just a short little period? There's so many variables that can happen that can stop him going to Liverpool. There could be a new kid on the block that Liverpool go, oh my God, have you seen this guy? We can get him for half the price. There's so many things that can happen. So while the iron's hot, you got to strike. So not letting him go, I can understand his frustration.
From a Liverpool point of view then, Alex, we know we've had that one bid rejected, which was £110 million, wasn't it? Which I mean, I know it's a lot of money, but I didn't think for a second that Newcastle were going to sell the best centre forward in the world with 3 years left on his deal for that. I always thought we're looking around more £150 million. I'm not sure if you've heard anything, you've got any insight, but are we looking closer to maybe 150, or does this deal just simply depend now on whether Newcastle can get somebody else in? And if they can get somebody else through the door, then possibly it could be even closer more to 110 than 150.
But when that bid went in of 110, and don't forget, a couple of weeks before that, the rumour was it would be a package of 120. So they've gone in with 110. It's a bit of a lowball offer, to say the least. And then Liverpool have said to Newcastle, look, we'll step away from this because you need to get a striker, and we'll make it easier for you, because if the selling club of the striker that you want to get knows that you've got 120 million quid in the bank, they're going to sting you, right?
Sure.
So you sort yourselves out. And then Liverpool said, you come back to us when you want us to put the bid in. So I don't think anything happens until a striker goes to Newcastle first and foremost. The other side of it is that Liverpool need this striker. We're kind of waiting around for them to sort themselves out. But this news this morning that he is adamant that he will never play for Newcastle again.
Do you believe that, by the way? Do you actually believe the window closes, he's going to just not play football for 6 months?
It's difficult to say that because football fans are very fickle, right? If he scores 2 against Liverpool,
it'll be forgotten about from a Newcastle.
It's forgotten about.
Of course it will.
But I do think from a Newcastle point of view, the longer this goes on, you're almost gaining a little bit more hope to think, well, he's actually just going to stay now and it's all going to be fine. But this news this morning is an extra kick in the teeth to say, look, I've been to Sociedad to train. I'm not answering calls. I've gone AWOL. Now, there's no way I'm playing for this football club again. And actually, if I was a Newcastle fan, I mean, you don't want a player to play for your club that doesn't want to be there. But 2, as a Liverpool fan, I'm looking at it going, could he do this to Liverpool in 3 years when he wants to go to Barcelona or Real Madrid? I don't like it. It's messy.
But do you know what's not helped, though, is that Ellard has said, right, you need to earn your right, go and train with the kids. That's not helped. There was no reason to...
But he's got to say that, Jermaine.
But why?
For the club, he's got to... For the fans,
but
that's what the fans want to hear.
But before all this happened, when he came back from Sociedad, he didn't go on tour. Him not going on tour wasn't his decision. It was a club's decision as well, because you've got a
thigh injury.
Yeah,
right.
So the club...
Well, which we weren't 100% sure.
Yeah, apparently the club came out and said, yeah, this is why, and it was probably best for him not to travel. So he's not done anything wrong in that sense. So when they've all came back, they could have just easily, right, OK, you fit to train, let's train him with the squad. But for them to go, no, you're going to go over there, they kind of started this to a certain degree.
I'm not sure. I think that's harsh on Newcastle.
I think it's more is that.
He started it by not going... Well,
by not going where?
By not going on the pre-season tour. I'm not sure he had a thought. Jermaine.
But whose decision was that? That was a club. That was a club decision.
You got to read through between the lines there. I don't think
it'd have been a massive coincidence if, with all this going on, he's got a thigh injury and doesn't go on pre-season tour. I could be wrong.
Whose decision was it?
Too good to be true.
Whose decision was it from not to go on tour?
But if he's taken that decision upon himself and shown the club that I am not coming on this tour, then you can understand why they've gone, well, all right, if you're not coming on the tour, if you're AWOL, if you're training with your ex-club, it's like, it's like having an argument with your wife and going for a sleepover at your ex-bird's house because you've had an argument. It's like, no, that's not okay. You've got to work things out.
That's outrageous, isn't it?
Of course not.
Is that what you do?
Don't really do that.
No, I'd hope to think not. Absolutely. But if he
Don't get divorced before you get married, mate. You've got a big wedding coming up, haven't you? Come on.
So
Where's Alex? His exes.
We only fell out over the dog food.
Yeah.
So listen, I think he's gone to the point in his head. He's gone to the point of no return. He's really trying to force this, but he's almost saying to Liverpool, "Come on, put the proper offer in, and then we can make this happen." But that ain't going to happen until Newcastle get the striker to replace him with.
And then,
And
you know,
once
they
there was
wanted
only a
Ekitike,
replacement
they're not
for
getting
Sesko
Ekitike.
as
They
well,
wanted
the latest
Sesko, they're not
one.
getting Sesko. They wanted
Cunha.
Delap, they're not getting Delap. They wanted João Pedro, they're not getting João Pedro. Who is out there for Newcastle now?
Nicholas Jackson. Just go and get him.
Oh, I mean, look.
I'll drive him there. I'll drive
walk
Chelsea.
him there,
I'll
Jermaine.
put in for petrol money as well.
I'll put in some. I'll chip in.
I know this is an Inside Liverpool show. Now, Newcastle are never going to sign anyone as good as Isac. But, I mean, come on. There's drop-downs. Let's build
him up.
Then
Let's see how
there's
good he is.
I can't build up Nicholas Jackson for Newcastle.
Great player.
I'm sorry.
Good
Great
player.
finisher, clinical.
Nicholas Jackson, good
Aggressive,
player.
isn't he?
I mean, if that is like, if you're a Newcastle fan, you're going, Jackson. But the
Yeah.
thing is, they've been, and should we use the word rejected?
Who?
Because have they been rejected by all these players, or can they afford
Well,
the wages?
certainly the Sesko one, I think
Certainly,
they were.
yeah.
There was talk that their bid was more than Man United's, but he
yeah. It
wanted
was 80
United.
But
so they went,
who else is there, right? They're looking at that Samu kid from Porto, the young Spanish
Watkins has
striker.
been linked, but I can't. Villa are in a similar situation to Newcastle. Villa can't sell their best centre forward 4 days before a Premier League season starts. So no one
But they
else
have
coming in.
bought that lad from, is it Lille or Leon?
I'm not sure.
Striker there. But Watkins, if he did go to Newcastle, it is Champions League.
Jan
Again,
Wissa.
how injury prone is he?
He's more of a wide
He's
player, isn't he?
a Wilson replacement as well, because they've got 2 strikers to buy.
There you go.
So if you guys had to guess what happens now until the end of the window, do you think Newcastle do sign someone and this deal does get done now? Is
Hope
there
so.
with this coming out now, Jermaine? Is this
Yeah.
at a point now where Newcastle, as much as they want to keep him,
Either way, Newcastle have lost Isac. Whether he comes to Liverpool
Mentally or
he
physically,
stays there. If he's saying I'm not going to play, they're probably not going to play him now as well. They both fell out. So they're out a striker. So they, either way of what he does, they need to go out and get a striker. If they get one, then that opens the door even more so for Liverpool. If they don't, then they're going to find themselves in a bit of bother, because we've seen the results. You actually can't read too much in pre-season, but they are lacking the firepower going forward.
And same as you, yes or no, very briefly, it gets done? You
I
have to
think
guess.
it gets done, but it's really messy now for all parties, I think. Liverpool would just rather him have been on the pre-season tour with us, but it's not going to be that way. So I think, at what point do you guys think this becomes, let's just walk away from this now, from Liverpool's point of view?
I don't think
Are we near that stage?
There's too much money involved
Well,
to
they're
just
gone too
walk
far now.
away.
I think so, yeah. I don't think we do walk away from it.
No, because it's such a massive fee, such a massive player.
Yeah.
It's too big of a deal to just go, don't worry about it.
I think it just about gets over the line.
Yeah, so that's the latest news then coming out of Newcastle from David Ornstein this morning. Alexander Isak adamant he will not play for Newcastle again, even if the window closes without exit. He views his Newcastle career as over. Elsewhere in the world of transfers, Liverpool have Virgil van Dijk, we have Konate. There was no other centre-back on the bench in the game on Sunday. Joe Gomez is another option, but we know he's very, very injury-prone. So while there's lots of talk about signing Alexander Isak, it's possibly, and I don't think it is one or the other, but it's possibly, Jermaine, the main priority from now until the end of the window, we go and sign a centre-back.
I think
We have to, right?
It's up there, yes. You know, if one of them do get injured, touch wood, it doesn't. If there's any wood around me, Virgil or Konate, then we could be on a little bit of bother.
Big bother.
So I think Liverpool know that, and if you're the man like Slot, you can see that. They're not stupid. If we all can see that and agree on that, they will be saying the same things. You know, especially like Richard Hughes and the Iraq will be saying the same things. All we're a little bit thin here. So I think they will go out. There's 19 days left of this transfer window. That's a long time in the transfer market. So they will probably go out and get a centre-back, whether it's already proven in the Premier League or one from around Europe.
So Parma centre-back Giovanni Leone's been linked with the football club. Mark Guéhi, those links are still there as well.
Yeah, for me, I think Mark Guéhi would be the first choice. You know, Steve Parish has already came out and said, basically, we are going to sell him. They will not let a player of that calibre go on a free.
Yeah, he's got a year left on his
They
deal.
want money for him. So you can probably... I think what with that one, we will see bids come in late doors where they're weak.
Have you been, because we have been so good in this window so far, and we were so, Trent went, Frimpong came in, the Wirtz one got done like that, Ekitike got done relatively quickly, a few weeks before the season started. Are you surprised, Alex, as we record this 3 days before the season starts, that we haven't signed a centre-back yet, and that we are going in with 2 fit, recognised centre-backs?
The power in this situation is in Crystal Palace's hand because he's still got a year on his contract, so they can make it really difficult for Liverpool. And just like the Isac situation, they've got to find a replacement for Guéhi as well. It's not as simple as Liverpool just going, right, we'll have him, bosh, he's ours now. No, we've got to wait for the dominoes to fall elsewhere before we go in. Guéhi would be my first choice.
You think he's good enough to make that step up?
He's good enough to, and I think he gets even better when he's playing next to Virgil van Dijk or Bukonate. But
who doesn't, right? Who doesn't look good playing next to Van Dijk?
I mean, I'd look decent.
Dejan Lovren had a little spell when Virgil first saw him.
Exactly.
He looked like Prime Maldini. Dejan playing next to Big
I wouldn't
Virgil.
go that far, but...
you take my point.
Yeah, I take your point. And I think Guéhi is looking at that World Cup squad. I think he's the best English defender, centre-back at the minute. He's looking at that World Cup thinking, right, how many games am I going to get at Liverpool? I know Chelsea have just had a big injury with Colwell, so is there an option to go back to Chelsea for there? But I think eventually we get Guéhi, but don't forget Chelsea have a 20% sell-on clause for Guéhi, right? They sold him to Palace, so Parish is going to want that fee to be nearer to 50. I mean, Newcastle bid 70, didn't they?
Yeah, last year,
in January.
I got rejected.
The price has definitely gone down a little bit since then, not through a lack of form, but
with 1 year on his deal, it has to.
I think we're going to, like Jermaine said, I think this last 2 to 3 days of this window could be the most exciting that we've seen in a while. But it's an absolute, just as much as it is, listen, the unfortunate passing of Diogo. We've now sold Darwin Núñez. We've sold Luis Diaz. We desperately need another striker in, and we desperately need another centre-back in, and maybe even another 6. I mean, Stefan Bajcetic has come back. He's looking good in the gym, so he might feature a little bit this season. But Guéhi's my first choice. There's this Leone kid, but who else really, apart from that, is pulling up trees in that position that is a good age, ready to go into that Liverpool stage to be third choice? I don't know if there's many options out there.
And I think Tony Evans said on this show a week or so ago, but he reckons there's still 200 million pounds to spend from this point in, because whilst we spend lots of money, with the sales of Núñez and Diaz and Kwanzaa, with my I think we're not too far off 200 million pounds in terms of player sales this summer. Yeah. So, the net spend isn't probably as high as maybe people think. So we know the money's there, Jermaine.
Yeah, the net spend's probably around 75, maybe to 90 million.
Yeah, that's right.
And, you look at our rivals, Man United, they're close to 260 million with no income. No.
Who wants to buy any of their players, right?
But I'm just saying, we have got a lot of money to still go out and buy. That's why I think behind closed doors, there's a lot of murmurs, a lot of conversations going on, where, who, and what to get, how we do it. This is not closed. We are going to see incoming, so I'm not worried right now. For the Friday, we've got enough. We can deal with that. But moving forward before the windows, we will definitely get players in and a bigger squad.
Yeah. The other thing, just quickly, in terms of the first international break is after 3 games.
Sure.
First game is Bournemouth. We'll have enough, like Jermaine said. The second game is Newcastle away.
That's awesome.
So why would Newcastle want to sell us Isac to then play against them a week later? And then the third one is Arsenal. So if, God forbid, touch wood again, if there's any injuries at the centre-back area, Liverpool desperately need to go in and sort that out ASAP, because the window shuts September the 1st and then it's international break.
Someone also said to me, go back to Isac, that this simply could just be Newcastle don't want to sell him before the Liverpool game.
Or they're
just waiting for because they know they're going to sell someone then potentially score against them on his debut.
Or Jermaine, they go, right, we'll let you go to Liverpool, but you've got to play against them first.
Yeah.
That's not.
After that, there's 5 days to sort your stuff out. So they go, we'll sell you.
Tweeted, I'm not sure he's playing in that against Liverpool.
Well, they could do the old Suge Knight and force him into it a little bit, like Marinakis and
just score an own goal against.
But that could be a thing. They go, if you want to go there, cool, go and play against them first.
Whatever happens, something tells me he is not playing in that game, Newcastle, Liverpool.
Or
no matter who he's playing for, exactly that. You mentioned there Darwin Núñez, Jermaine. Since we last recorded one of these shows, the only ingoing or outgoing was Darwin Núñez, who's gone to Saudi Arabia, Al-Hilal, for £46 million. I think we've all known and established by now that on the pitch it didn't work out. but he leaves, I think, with a place in everybody's hearts because absolute bare minimum, we want someone who works, who fights, who gets the football club, and Darwin did that.
He did all of that. He showed passion. He loved the club. He loved the fans. He loved playing for this team. But yes, we needed a number 9 who'd sell a little bit more finesse in front of goal. He just didn't have that. He had everything else. He had power. He had pace. He was good in the air at times. But just, in front of goals, decision-making, his final contribution, end product was just lacking. And if you want to be a Liverpool number 9, you've got to do better than that. You've got to be better than that. And he will just didn't have it. But, every time he was out there, he gave it his best shot. And not only that, he did come in with some massive goals, some important goals.
Late for 2 goals last season.
I was at that game.
Nottingham Forest. There's so many times.
Forest one, of course, yeah.
Yeah, where
Newcastle away.
He's dragged us out.
They were 2 really good finishes, weren't they?
That's the thing. It was just sometimes you could play it and it'll be unbelievable, and then sometimes you watch him, you think, is that his cousin? It was.
I mean, he hit the post 4 times against Chelsea in the same game. Bless him, Mr. Penn. And Jermaine's right, the bottom line.
He could never do that again, could he?
No, even if he tried. The bottom line is, over the 130 odd games he played for Liverpool, sadly he wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
But within that period, he gave absolutely everything. I mean, the headbutt in his first home game was a sign of things to come.
Against Palace?
Yeah.
It wasn't against Guéhi, was it?
No, Anderson.
Anderson, yeah.
He ends up with 40 goals for Liverpool. If we're all sitting here honest, he should have had 80. That's how many big chances he missed.
Just in that Chelsea game, he could have got up to that.
But I absolutely loved him. He was the first player at Diogo's funeral as well, and I think he saw and understood what it meant to be a Liverpool player. He loved us so much, and we loved him. I've never wanted it to work more for any single Liverpool player in my life than Darwin Nunez.
Yeah.
And look, he's got his move. He's set his family up for life. Amazing, but he leaves with a big question mark. What could have been?
Yeah. So Nunez gone. In terms of other players possibly leaving, I've got 5 names. Tsimikas, Elliott, Doak, Chiesa. That's in fact 4 names, 5 if you include Nunez. Tsimikas will leave, right?
Yeah.
Because we've got Kirkez, Robertson, Gomez can play left back.
Yeah.
Nottingham Forest been linked with him, but I think that's a deal that I think should get done, and we could get a decent fee for him. An okay fee for him.
A nice little. The business that we've done selling our players has been fantastic. So
always is. What's going to happen with? We spoke about him a lot on this show, Jermaine. Nothing. I mean, there's been some links to Leipzig, but not too much is developing in terms of Harvey Elliott. And is there maybe a part, because you mentioned there with players leaving the club, attacking players, is there maybe part of Arne Slot that might want Harvey Elliott around as a squad player next season, or not? Look,
I think Slot would love him around, but for his football and for his career, Harvey's going to make the decision. If no bid comes in, Slot is not going to be trying to get him out, so I need a fee. Slot will be happy to have Harvey Elliott because he will use him as he has been throughout, last season. It's all to do with Harvey. If he wants to play regular football, elsewhere, because he knows he's not going to get the minutes in the game time at Liverpool, he's going to be, used as a
squad player,
player, backup.
Just to wrap up then, we've only got a few minutes left. I like some of these stats, let's not get worried about losing the Community Shield. It might even be a good thing because only one of the past 14 winners of the season open have gone on to lift the Premier League trophy. That was Man City in the 18-19 season. And in the Premier League era, only 8 of the 33 winners of the Charity Community Shield have got on to win the title. So if anything, Alex, it might be a good, we didn't win it.
Slot's not stupid, he knows.
Slot's a taking genius, isn't he, right?
Yeah. Also, he does know, but it is 2 trips to Wembley and 2 defeats for Slot as the Liverpool manager so far, which isn't great. But that's that.
Glass half empty way of...
A little bit.
We don't do Wembley. We don't like playing at Wembley.
Well, winning on penalties is how we do it.
The last time Liverpool won in 90 minutes at Wembley, 1995, Steve McManaman scored 2 against Bolton, I think it was.
So none of our FA Cup or Carabao Cup wins, they've all been on penalties.
Well, some of them were in the Millennium Stadium as well.
Yeah,
But yeah, Chelsea, it was penalties every time.
Both seasons, actual seasons, yeah.
0-0 every time, or 1-0 every time. So, yeah, the Virgil header last season was 118 minutes or whatever. Yeah. So, the stats are stats, but I do like that stat because imagine if we did win the Community Shield and then lost the league, we'd all be saying that stat is true. So let's hope, as Liverpool fans, then that is going to work in our favour this season.
How excited are you then, Jermaine? And lots going to happen from now until the end of the window, but Are you sitting it confident that we are still the strongest team in the Premier League and that we go in as favourites?
We go in as favourites, but, you know, we're not going to walk away with it like we did last season. It's going to be a real fight to the end. Arsenal are looking strong.
They've got that centre forward, haven't they?
Yeah,
needed, which we've known.
what they've been dying and crying for. Man City are going to look strong, and Chelsea, you know, they beat PSG, which no team has seemed to have done yet. So it's going to be tough, but we are favourites because we won the last year and we've got stronger now. But again, it's going to be a tough season.
And on Friday's game, you're going to be there. You've got Season Ticket Avenue, second row of the Kop. But another was Bournemouth are a good team.
Yeah, they are.
And what I do like about it, I actually interviewed Adam Smith, the Bournemouth player, yesterday for Talk Sport, and he spoke a lot about how the manager, as soon as he came in, whether they're playing a promoted team or Liverpool, Man City, they play the exact same way. So they are going to be aggressive. That could also work out into our favour. But we know they've got some quick players, they've got some attacking players, so they are going to come to Anfield, and I think they are going to try and land a blow as opposed to
100%.
sort of sit back and park the bus.
Yeah, he's some manager, by the way.
Yeah.
I really, really like his style. The only thing I think with them is they've had the whole defence stripped. Right?
No Kirk Hansen.
Zaba's
Zabani today's gone to PSG.
Gone. Kepa,
And the
who's in
goalkeeper,
goal for
yeah,
them last year,
goodness
he's gone.
me. Adam
Petrovic
Smith, though, was a
has
right
come
back.
in. Adam Smith's still there, bless him.
That's why I had to interview him, because none of the other
they'd all
defenders were
gone.
there.
So I think he'll definitely he'll have definitely been keeping an eye on Liverpool's signings and the pre-season, and knowing how he works. What's his name again? Sorry.
Areola.
Manager.
He'll have some tactic and he'll have some weakness that he would like his team to focus on. Maybe that is the fullback positions, getting around when they bomb up. But this will be a difficult game. But with it being Friday night under the lights, you cannot rule Liverpool out.
Yeah, but it's still August, though, isn't it? So how much? Second half, maybe under the lights.
So yeah,
first off,
because the sun sets about 9 o'clock now.
Well, there we go. Come on.
So yeah, sorry.
We don't want to give our audience false information, do we, about the light situation at Anfield?
But yeah, listen, he'll come with a plan, and it's down to Liverpool to nullify that. An early goal, wouldn't that just settle everyone's nerves? An Ekitike screamer after 4 minutes, and then a vert
We'll take one in off the
kick
backside,
after
won't
20.
we, no? Yeah.
I mean, I'll take anything. I just want to get this game out of the way, because then it's Newcastle, then it's Arsenal, and yeah, we've got to start well
And
this
then
season.
international break. I mean, seriously,
And
who
then we
comes
can
up
all
with
put
this?
our feet up after 3 games.
Yeah, in 30 seconds, Jermaine, when it gets to this time of the season, I know you love being on Inside Liverpool. Do you miss it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Get the itch?
I've been waiting for this for a long time. I've never been so excited for a.
I mean, do you miss playing, though? Do you miss
Oh, I
being
miss
out there?
playing as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
No,
You don't miss it, seriously?
I don't. No.
You don't get to this time
Doesn't
where
get
all
to
the
go
lads...
to Ibiza with the lads then,
No,
does he?
Yes, he did.
Oh, I'm saying he does now.
Yeah.
But, oh, he
As
probably
a player, I think he
back
did
then.
as well, didn't he, no?
Do you know, I miss like the changing rooms and the banter with the boys, but
Well, the banter was flying here, wasn't it, before we got
just
going?
the same,
I
isn't it?
miss
You know?
that, but I
Pretty
don't.
much.
You know, no, I don't miss it playing now.
Yeah. Okay. Boys, I'm absolutely buzzing, by the way. Absolutely buzzing. Liverpool Premier League champions. We start Friday.
Come on, boys.
And who knows how we might look in a few weeks' time with Guéhi, with Isac. Gents, an absolute pleasure. Jermaine, Alex, thank you so much. You've been listening to, or watching, listening, however you want to do it, on Inside Liverpool, on TalkSport's YouTube channel. Friday night, the first game, Liverpool-Bournemouth. You want to listen to it, by the way, there is live and exclusive radio commentary on TalkSport. Inside Liverpool will be back very, very shortly. Plenty going on. And thank you for watching.